What's up, guys? I just picked up this brand new Mercedes S580 and I want to show you guys why I chose to stick with Mercedes and not go to BMW, even though they have that sick screen. But let me give you a tour of the car and talk about what I like about it so much. So first off, I want to talk about the styling. I absolutely love the S-Class. I love how sleek it is. Now, I was either gonna get this or the brand new 7 Series BMW, but the BMW just felt really bulky and it felt like very square-like. I liked it too, but I just like this one a little bit better. So a couple things, I've been a Mercedes guy for quite some time. I've had the G-Wagon, the GLE, and previous to this model, I actually had the Mercedes S450 2019. I love that car, great daily. The self-driving is amazing, but a couple key changes that I just really like about this. Number one is it's longer, actually. I think it's about 8 inches bigger, so that translates to just more room in the back seat, which is great because sometimes I sit back there, sometimes my kids sit back there, and when we put the car seats in, they have a little bit more room. Second thing is, I wanted to have the blacked out option for the car. They didn't have it, but you know, this one had basically most of the options that I wanted, and that's why we went with this one. I probably will get it wrapped and black out all the chrome, but I'll do that in a year or so when I'm kind of bored of this look. Another thing that's really cool, the sleek design. So the handles actually come out now, and when they're not in use, they tuck back in to make it like the body line super smooth. Again, I think the word for this car is that it's very elegant. It's very low key. This one actually has the AMG package. It's not an AMG, the S63 is not out yet, but that basically gives it a different front bumper, gives it a little bit of a spoiler in the back, and I think the side skirt kicks out a little bit, so I like the look. If you don't get it, the car looks, in my opinion, a lot uglier. A couple things I like about this too, I think the S-Class is the only model that has the emblem still. See, all the other models is just a flat, but I feel like when you're driving and you see this kind of emblem, it's like that target, and you know where you're going. All right, so we went over the exterior. Let's talk a little bit more about the interior. So the driver's side. This option has a couple things. I typically like my steering wheel to be wood. My last S-Class was mostly wood, which feels really nice. I think leather kind of gets beat up, but this has the Nappa leather steering wheel, so it feels really soft, really nice. And the cool thing is that when you get the wood, you don't get the heated option. So now I do wake up very early for the gym. I'm usually up like around 5 o'clock, and lately in California it's been freezing. So the cool thing with this car is when you turn on the heated seats, the steering wheel heats up. The actually armrest on both sides heats up. So you're literally just kind of in like this cocoon of heat, and it's amazing. Let's talk about a couple things. Again, this was an extra option. I didn't care to have it, but it came with the car, so great, I'll pay for it. But this is active ambient light. So for example, let's say I want to turn up the heat. It's kind of a gimmick. You'll see here, it has like this shooting red. If you want to cool down the car, it shoots blue. At night, this car is like amazing. It's like a light show in here. Second thing I want to talk about, the driving experience itself. We'll take it on the road, but the self-driving isn't as good as the Tesla, I will admit, but it's enough. And my old S-Class was great, but it didn't take turns very well. This one is better. I'll just say that. It's not, again, not Tesla, but it's good for traffic because I do drive a lot. I'm going long distance, and the biggest problem for me is the driver fatigue. So I do activate the lane assist and the self-driving quite often in this car. Let's talk about the screen itself. The screen is massive, and I think for people who don't have Mercedes, it would be a little complicated to use. But again, like I said, I've had Mercedes for many years now, many different models. I kind of know how their interface works, so for me, it hasn't been such a big problem. The cool thing is that, I talked about this in a later clip, but you basically, it can remember the profile. So if my wife drives the car and she registers her fingerprint or her voice, it will know to change the color of the ambient light to her liking and move the seats up and all that stuff. For me, it'll know that I like this color and move the seat this way as well. Talk a little bit about the seats. The biggest thing up here, it's comfortable in the back, but it's very comfortable for the driver as well. You got massage seat up here. I will say that in the Bentley, the massage is just a little bit harder. This is more gentle, more subtle. So on those long drives, it's just kind of nice to have it touch and like kind of keep you awake, but it's pretty good. These seats, for me, are so much more comfortable than the last S-Class. They're so much more customizable. Like, I can literally adjust on the screen where I want the lumbar support to be. My upper back, my lower back. I can have it fill in like certain areas of my back. That's amazing. And then the dynamic seats as well. When you make a turn, these remind me of my G-Wagon. My G-Wagons had very comfortable seats that when you took a turn, it would grip you and keep you in place. Sounds stupid, but in the Bentley, it doesn't have it. And so when I'm driving, I actually kind of like move a little bit and I move a little bit. And so you got to think of it this way too. It's the little things that kind of keep your energy high. And this Mercedes just did an amazing job with it. And that's what it's all about. When I'm driving, I just want to minimize the fatigue as much as possible. All right, this option is called the warmth package, which basically allows it to have the ventilated seats, the heated seats. There's one more package above this. I think that comes with the screen, the LED strips here, and the leg kicks out. That's typically in the Maybach. I wasn't gonna fork out an extra $100,000 because I don't have a driver yet. Maybe next time. But the cool thing with this is sometimes I want to be, you know, a little bit more room. I mean, I'm not that tall, guys, but so this is actually a lot, and I can take off my shoes, I can chill. It's not a Maybach, I won't lie to you guys, but this is look at this, guys. Like, I'm chilling. Like, make sure my seat's all the way back. You kick this thing out, the pillows, you know what I mean? Like, I can drive to San Jose, I can drive to meetings. It's as comfortable as it gets. Second thing with S-Classes, my old one had it. This is probably the coolest part. Like, I can control that window, I can control this window, I can control the sunroof here, or not the sunroof, just the sunshade, and I can put up the back, and it just gives me that privacy. It's very dark, and you know, driving and with the sun's on this side, I've never had a problem with the S-Class. Like, this is just luxury. All right, so let's just go for a drive. Something worth mentioning, because it's my daily, I don't want big rims. I didn't want, you know, people put Ford Giottos, they change them up. I drive a lot. I don't care. Again, if I want to kind of show off a little bit, I'll take the Bentley. This is my daily, so the rims are only 20 inches, and it actually has sound dampening tires. I think they included that in this model, so it does make a difference. Off the bat, you don't really notice this too much on the road because you're not driving fast, but the power really kicks in on the freeway. Like when I'm trying to get onto an on-ramp or cut somebody off, the 496 horsepower V8, you need the power. In my old S-Class, and actually in the S500 of the Mercedes, I find myself always putting it into sport. And that's just one extra thing you have to do. You have to remember to put it into sport mode so that the transmission kicks in faster and the power band is a little bit more. But the S580, you can leave it in comfort and it's plenty of power. And overall, I spent, full disclosure, I didn't buy the car. I never buy these cars because I know the reliability becomes an issue, and these things depreciate like freaking crazy. So I always lease these Mercedes, and this was $130,000 MSRP. They were able to give me $18,000 off. They were able to take my old S-Class back with over 14,000 miles over mileage. And basically, I'm paying about $2,000 a month for this car. Is that too much? Maybe. I was only paying $1,050 for the last car. This is a lot more. But here's how I look at it. At this point in my life, I have enough investments put away, producing money to pay for my lifestyle. So could I have taken this car, like this monthly payment, and bought more properties? Yeah, I probably could. But at some point, you got to ask yourself, you hustled for so many years, you got to enjoy a little bit of life's fruits, you know? And that's what it's about. If I drove a piece of shit car, and I have no problem with, but I drive a lot. I'm in my car a lot. I'm in my car for anywhere from at least an hour to 2 hours a day. If I show up and I feel good and I feel relaxed and I feel refreshed, I'm gonna perform better. I'll make the $2,000 a month. That's not the problem. But I've done it in the past, and I regret this, but my GLE 43 2017, fun car, but the suspension was so stiff. I felt every bump. The start-stop jerked you every single time after the red light. And by the time I got to the destination, I was like, oh man, I'm so tired. I don't know why I'm so tired. Well, because I was driving like a sports car for 2 hours. Same thing with my Ferrari. You know, you can't drive that car for more than an hour. Your back just starts to hurt. I don't have that problem in this car. Even my Bentley isn't as comfortable as this. So that's why I chose to go with it. Do I want a Rolls Royce? Absolutely. Can I afford one right now? Sure. Is it smart to buy one in San Francisco? Absolutely not. I don't want the attention. I just want a very comfortable car that I can drive everywhere. And again, personally speaking, I think this car is a little bit more low-key. It's if you know, you know. And, you know, the way that Mercedes is now designing their cars, the C-Class and the E-Class and the S-Class all kind of look the same. They're just a little bit bigger, a little bit bigger, and a little bit bigger. So if you don't know cars, they just think I'm driving a black Mercedes. Great. They know this guy has some money, but they don't know this is about a $135,000 car. So, or not 135, sorry, $130,000 car. I like to round down. So, that's the end of the spiel. This is why I love the car. I haven't had it long enough to kind of go over some of the things I don't like about it. We'll do another video about it. But overall, I'm very happy with the purchase. I'm very happy with the car. I'm very happy paying the $2,000. With me, it's not so much, oh my God, it's so much money, but does this car bring me happiness? Does it provide a lot of value? And for the things that I mentioned earlier, with the comfort, the fatigue, and the overall feeling of the car, I think it's worth it. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Do me a favor, hit the comments, hit the subscribe button. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Peace.